For years, people have watched the Peterson Farm Bros turn tractors, crops, and farm life into viral hits. But behind the upbeat parodies and polished videos, viewers started noticing small changes. Uploads slowed down, the tone shifted, and naturally, questions started spreading. Were they stepping away? Did something happen behind the scenes? Or were the rumors completely off base? Recently, the Peterson Farm Bros addressed what fans had been speculating about for years. And the truth isn't nearly as dramatic as some expected, but it does reveal how much their lives have changed since going viral. Long before millions of people knew their names, the Peterson Farm Bros were just three brothers working a fifth-generation farm in Kansas. Their days weren't built around cameras or scripts. They were built around early mornings, long hours, and work that didn't stop just because the internet wasn't watching. Farming wasn't a brand for them, it was real life. Everything changed when they uploaded a parody that was never meant to go global. "I'm Farming and I Grow It" started as a joke between brothers, a fun way to mix humor with agriculture. But the internet grabbed it and ran. Suddenly, people who had never stepped foot on a farm were singing along to lyrics about crops, cattle, and tractors. The success came fast. Views stacked up, media outlets started calling. And just like that, the Peterson Farm Bros became unofficial ambassadors for modern farming. What made it work wasn't just the music, it was authenticity. They weren't actors pretending to be farmers. They were farmers who happened to be funny. But that rapid rise planted the first seeds of future speculation. When something explodes that quickly, people expect it to keep growing forever. Fans assumed the uploads would never slow down and the energy would always stay the same. And when real life eventually interfered, those expectations turned into rumors. Because what viewers didn't realize at the time was that viral fame doesn't replace farm work, it stacks on top of it. And that pressure was only just beginning. But the attention brought more than just views. As the years went on, longtime viewers started noticing subtle shifts. Uploads weren't as frequent. Some videos felt more polished, while others leaned more educational than comedic. To casual fans, it looked like a change in direction. To the internet, it looked like something was being hidden. Speculation filled the gaps. Some people wondered if the brothers were burned out. Others questioned whether disagreements behind the scenes had slowed things down. A few even suggested they were stepping away from content entirely. None of it was confirmed, but silence online has a way of turning curiosity into full-blown rumors. The reality was much less dramatic, but far more relatable. As their platform grew, so did their responsibilities off-camera. Farming isn't a 9-to-5 job, and neither is running a business that suddenly reaches millions. Add marriages, growing families, and expanding operations, and something had to give. Instead of chasing trends nonstop, the Peterson Farm Bros started choosing balance. That meant fewer uploads, more intentional content, and less pressure to constantly go viral. But to viewers used to the early flood of parodies, the change felt sudden. This is where the idea of confirmed rumors really comes from, not from scandals or controversies, but from fans noticing that life moved forward. When creators don't explain every shift in real time, audiences fill in the blanks themselves. And eventually, the brothers realized those questions weren't going away, so they finally addressed what was really happening. When the Peterson Farm Bros talked about the changes, they didn't drop a dramatic announcement or headline-grabbing confession. Instead, they did what they've always done. They told the truth plainly. Yes, life looks different now. And yes, that has affected their content. They confirmed that farming remains the priority. The YouTube channel was never meant to replace the farm. It was meant to support a message they cared about. As the years passed, their responsibilities grew in ways cameras don't capture. Managing land, livestock, finances, and family doesn't pause for algorithms. They also acknowledged that constant parody production isn't sustainable forever. Writing, filming, editing, and promoting high-quality videos takes time. Time that sometimes has to be spent elsewhere. Rather than force content just to satisfy upload schedules, they chose to slow down. That confirmation disappointed some fans who wanted the early days back. But it also explained everything people had been guessing about for years. There was no hidden fallout, no sudden collapse, just growth. By addressing it openly, they unintentionally confirmed what many suspected. The channel evolved because they evolved. Fame didn't freeze them in time, it pushed them forward. And while some viewers moved on, others appreciated the honesty. Because in a space full of exaggerated drama, quiet truth stood out. But success brought pressure they didn't expect. Being known as the fun farming guys sounds simple, until millions of people expect you to stay that way forever. The Peterson Farm Bros found themselves balancing entertainment with responsibility. On one side were fans who wanted non-stop laughs. On the other was a real industry they cared deeply about representing correctly. Every joke carried weight. Every lyric could shape how people viewed farming. That pressure slowly changed how they approached content. It wasn't just about being funny anymore. It was about being accurate, respectful, and meaningful. There's also the mental side that rarely gets discussed. When something you made casually becomes a global brand, expectations skyrocket. Views are tracked. Comments are analyzed. And suddenly, what started as fun can feel like obligation. Instead of letting that pressure push them into burnout, the brothers stepped back. They chose sustainability over speed. And while that decision reduced output, it protected what mattered most: the farm, their families, and their sanity. This shift didn't make headlines, but it quietly shaped everything fans noticed later. The tone changes, the pacing, the focus on storytelling over shock value. And in a strange way, that's exactly what confirmed the rumors. Not because something went wrong, but because something matured, which leads to where they are now. Today, the Peterson Farm Bros aren't chasing viral moments the way they once did. Instead, they've settled into a rhythm that fits their real lives. The channel still exists. The message is still there. But it's no longer built around constant output. They've expanded beyond parodies into education, storytelling, and real conversations about agriculture. That shift doesn't always grab instant clicks, but it lasts longer, and it reflects who they are now, not who the internet expects them to be. Fans who stuck around understand the change. New viewers discover them differently than before, and that's okay. The brothers never promised to stay frozen in one era. What's important is that they didn't disappear. They didn't abandon their audience. They simply adjusted and confirmed it honestly when people asked. And that's what makes their story different. So when people say the Peterson Farm Bros confirmed the rumors, they're not talking about secrets or scandals. They're talking about something more real, that life doesn't pause for popularity. They confirmed that growth changes things, that success adds pressure, and that sometimes slowing down is the smartest move you can make. In a world where creators often burn out trying to stay relevant, the Peterson Farm Bros chose longevity. They stayed grounded in the same fields they started in. And they proved that evolution doesn't mean failure, it means survival. And maybe that's the most unexpected part of all. What makes the Peterson Farm Bros stand out isn't just that they went viral. It's how they handled what came after. Most internet success stories follow the same pattern: rapid growth, non-stop uploads, burnout, then disappearance. People expected that same ending here. And for a while, it looked like it might be happening. But instead of chasing relevance at all costs, they stepped back and made a choice most creators never do. They protected the life that existed before the views. They kept the farm running. They focused on family. And they let the channel adapt instead of forcing it to stay the same. That decision quietly challenged one of the biggest assumptions online, that creators owe constant access to their audience. The Peterson Farm Bros showed that stepping away doesn't mean giving up. Sometimes it means staying true to why you started in the first place. It also explains why the rumors never fully died. When creators don't overshare, the internet fills in the gaps. But in this case, the gaps weren't hiding chaos. They were hiding normal life. And that's something viewers don't always know how to process. Their story matters because it breaks the expectation that success has to look loud, that growth has to be obvious, and that confirmation always comes with drama. Sometimes the real confirmation is quieter and more honest. And that leads to the bigger picture. So did the Peterson Farm Bros really confirm the rumors? In their own way, yes. Not by exposing secrets or dropping shocking revelations, but by acknowledging change. They confirmed that the early viral days couldn't last forever, that farming comes first, that life evolves whether the internet likes it or not, and that stepping back doesn't mean walking away. What started as a fun parody turned into a platform that reached millions, and instead of letting that platform control them, they reshaped it to fit who they became. That choice may not satisfy everyone, but it explains everything fans have been wondering about for years. In a space built on constant noise, their honesty stood out. No manufactured drama, no forced explanations, just reality. And maybe that's why people are still talking, because sometimes the most unexpected confirmation isn't a headline. It's simply choosing to move forward on your own terms.